Hey ho out there, everybody. This is the 20th, and I mean just barely the 20th, as in 12:35 a.m. But I really wanted to bring you this that I'd been watching. This is the guy's channel is Hustle. He does a really excellent job. Now we always talk about these puppets and them having puppet masters. Well, and I'm always saying it's George Soros, Bill Gates, which is true. But here are a few more people. So watch this and let's discover this together, shall we?
In a significant boost for Vice President Kamala Harris, nearly 500 Silicon Valley investors have pledged their support to her presidential campaign.
Okay, 500 Silicon Valley investors. That unbelievable.
Harris rapidly fortifying her own strength amongst wealthy Democrat donors as many open their
And remember, I was saying that there's way more Democrat billionaires and all that is over with the liberal-crats there because boy, look at her face, how evil that is right there. That is a perfect example of chameleon there. That's Camellia Harris there. She just turns into whatever she needs to, says whatever she needs to, does whatever she needs to, obviously just to get it over on you. And we have a lot to get into, so here we go.
All it's back up now that President Joe Biden is off the ticket.
2-1 Silicon Valley leaders back.
So now they're all about these Silicon Valley supporters and stuff. Remember, they said, "Hey, you're not getting any more money," especially the big heiress of the Disney heiress that owns so much stock in Disney, and she's got all kinds of money. She said, "You're not getting another dime as long as Biden's still the in there." And then that's after so many of them pulled out, they said, "Hey, you know what? Ain't doing this." So that's when they told him, "You're out and Chameleon's in." So now you got all these supporters. And one of them you'll recognize here in a minute, but here we go.
Vice President Harris and the Democratic ticket, and that is because of immigration, abortion rights, climate.
As you just heard.
There you go. There he is. Right there on the right. Look at him. Dallas Mavericks basketball. By golly. He said early on when all of the stabby pokey was going on and stuff, he said he had no problems doing business with China, and but he's just all about money and stuff, and he doesn't give a damn about anybody except for himself. And these other ones here, but here we go.
Kamala Harris has been receiving overwhelming support from Silicon Valley investors and entrepreneurs. In fact, only a couple of weeks ago, 88 tech giants endorsed her and opened their deep pockets to donate a staggering
Mark Cuban. Look here, James Murdoch, Peter Chernin, Mark Cuban, Barry Diller. All these big, wealthy to-doers,
amount of money to her campaign.
These are
now, we all know how much the Silicon Valley crowd had begun to hate Biden, so I was intrigued by the nonstop support that Kamala has received ever since her nomination became certain. And so I decided to look deep down the rabbit hole.
Look, there's Chameleon whenever she was younger.
Into this whole situation, and that's when I came across a name I'd heard before, but I just couldn't remember from where. I'm talking about this guy named John Doerr, who according to this Variety article is the chairman of the venture capital firm Kleiner Perkins. Now for reference, this happens to be the most famous venture...
Yeah, right here, this is one of your big puppet masters right here. And isn't it amazing, whenever, like the Weezer Duvall's there, he's got the big voice and everything. "I am the great and powerful," whenever you don't know who they are or what they are or anything about them, and you're usually like, man, that's got to be somebody big and bad or whatever. But see, we already know about Bill Gates and what a flimsy wiener he is. Now look at this skin tag here. I mean, these are the individuals that make a lot of money, and then they stifle you and I, Americans, who want to have a family and go to church on Sunday, or Saturday rather, excuse me, but we want to go to church and believe in God and do our own thing, be left alone, have good food, so on and so forth. But not these skin tag devils right here. No way. They don't want nothing like that. They have to make sure that they get their poison and their hooks into you, and they want to control your life. There's no difference in this skin tag right here than Adolf Hitler himself.
Capital firm in Silicon Valley and has people like Al Gore and
Yeah, look at there, Al Gore.
Colin Powell
Colin
in
Powell.
its ranks. Since I knew this already, I thought John Doerr was just another big shot investor from the West Coast, but after going a little bit deeper into the rabbit hole, I realized I might have found the
$420,000 to Joe Biden's campaign, the re-election campaign. But now he's throwing even more at the chameleon.
puppet master who's going to control Kamala Harris and her policies if she ends up winning the election.
Have a look at what I just found on Kamala Harris's Instagram. If you go through the people she follows,
Go ahead and zoom in.
you'll find something very, very strange. Pretty much all of them are either actors, celebrities, athletes, or political figures. But then you'll find someone called John Doerr. So I did some digging on John, and you're not going to believe what I found. We know Kamala's flip-flopped on policy, but let me tell you, Big Johnny makes it pretty clear what the agenda is. Besides the traceable donations to the Dems, let me lay out why I think he
Besides the traceable donations to the liberal rats.
could be one of the puppet masters behind their agenda. He's on the board of the...
Now, check this out right here. Okay, there he is right in the center, right? Now, look at all of his connections there. Google, Twitter, Zuckerberg down there, Facebook, down at the bottom. What is the other one there? I can't make it out or whatever.
The Giving Pledge.
Yeah, and what's the one off to the right of it? I can't
It
read.
says 1.
Okay. Anyway, this guy's connected with all this stuff. Now, we don't really know all of this stuff because we are just now like, okay, you guys are got your hand in too much stuff here. And you're supposed to be these dudes at Silicon Valley or whatever that you're just wanting to like do computers and stuff. That's all well and good. Make us a computer so that whenever we want to share photos with each other or video chat, make it better for us, and swap ideals or what have you. That's all well and good. No, not these idiots. These demons. They absolutely have to put their hands into our food and our personal and our unalienable God-given rights to free speech and stuff. And it is unbelievable how much reach that they have just because we have given them a whole lot of money. There has to be some kind of control on this. We've got to get some kind of a handle on it because this used to be, and it's supposed to be, that you're not supposed to have a monopoly on something. But I'm telling you right now, this is considered a monopoly because Facebook has a certain layout or whatever that nobody else can do, right? So therefore, he's got that platform all locked up. And then X, of course, we're looking at Twitter right here when it was Twitter and stuff. They had all of their special, unique, how to do things all locked up, so you can't tread on that, right? And that's garbage. That's communication. I don't see how in the world they can do that. Just like whenever Harley Davidson, they fought them for years and years over, the shape of a motorcycle and stuff like that. And then finally they won out, so that other manufacturers could make their bikes more like what Harley Davidson's look was, and so on and so forth. Because you're giving too much power to one individual. So look at how many branches, just this guy, and this is not really a bunch of limbs on this guy here. This is just a few that he has. Just like with BlackRock. BlackRock is all, and then I can't think of the other two right now. Yeah, and I'm sure there's other ones.
A number of key companies, the first of which is Google, which we now know has been extremely active in censorship, most recently when they stifled the viewership of the attempted Trump assassination and only showed Camilla search results when you'd search for Trump. He was also an early investor in Twitter and very active in the decision-making during Jack Dorsey's ownership.
And you certainly do not have to look very far to see why this man is the big bad wolf of Silicon Valley. He's not just...
You don't picture, somebody being a big bad wolf or whatever, but then you see somebody like this right here and you're like, no way. But yes, in fact, this is the same kind of dirtbag like Bill Gates right here. These guys absolutely are clones off of each other.
Just any other investor.
Because why wouldn't you say, how can I make the world better for children? How can I make it safer? How can I make things funner? Look at all the theme parks and stuff that's went away. They used to have the Flintstones, theme parks. It was open and stuff and different ones. And now the only thing that you even hear about would be, Dollywood next to Disney. Can you think of any? Camden Park, I think it's still running or whatever, but, they've taken away all of our American, let's do something fun. They've taken that away. And you can listen to so many of these individuals that don't even have a clue as to what being an American is, Open up a stand, open up a theme park or something like that. But they make it so hard and they sue you, and I'm talking about they being this dude right here because they own Disney or something like that, and heaven forbid that you would open up something and have a picture of a mouse on it and it would resemble, Mickey Mouse or something. Because then these goonballs right here would sue you, and then there's the end of everything. Nobody benefits from it.
But a man who's worth nearly $13 billion.
Think about that. $13 billion. Okay, Trump, I think, is like, how much is he now? Like $6 billion or something like that? So this guy is like twice as much. And he's funding the dog snot out of Chameleon.
And also happens to be an influential board member of some of the biggest tech companies in the world. At Kleiner Perkins, he has been responsible for investments in companies like Netscape, Amazon, and Google.
Okay, Google. There you go. Get away from Giggle. What's that one that... Brave. You know what? Check out Brave. And also DuckDuckGo. They're excellent, but just everybody, it's the name. It's kind of like McDonald's. Everybody likes the name. They're used to it, and they've been saturated with, let's go to McDonald's. And you kind of associate your brain with McDonald's as back in the day as being really fun. Remember when they had, like, the best chicken nuggets, bar none? Like, it wasn't even close. Like somebody'd say, well, let's go to Wendy's and get nuggets, or let's go to KFC and get nuggets, because they had nuggets, if you remember. And that was kind of like having a welfare burger or something. It's like, no, you want the designer nuggets. So you'd go, and they was real chicken, and they was extremely delicious. And, McDonald's even had taro back in the day that they was using to put their French fries and stuff in. Now, they still wasn't, considered healthy food or anything, but that's when they ran the big scam about having heart attacks because of cholesterol and all that stuff. So they beat them up and made them leave the taro, however you say it. And that was, am I saying that right?
I think so, yes.
Okay, well, anyway, it's beef fat. And that's what your French fries and stuff was fried. And man, they had the best tasting French fries too. I mean, they had their very own special, unique, I mean, that was the place to go for French fries, right? But no. So anyway, they fought it for a while, and then they was like, well, it's a losing battle. So they switched over and started using what? Ta-da! Vegetable oil and canola oil. All the poison oils that we know now are poisons that you absolutely should not be doing. They're poison. Cheesecake Factory. 100% all canola oil. Poison. So there's no food there. It's just, it's a shame. But anyway, they gave in. McDonald's did, and now they do the vegetable oil. And I can't think of anything that would be called or even considered healthy at McDonald's, except for the exit sign.
In fact, he is known for personally backing people like Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Jeff Bezos, and Bill Campbell. And we already know how these extremely influential companies have been trying to sabotage the Trump campaign.
Social media has given extraordinary power to a group of big tech giants that are working with government, the mainstream media, and a large segment of a political party to silence and suppress the views of the American people.
How can we forget the time when Google was quite literally showing people President Donald Duck instead of Trump? And these hidden tactics are not the only way John has been using his influence against Trump. He is also one of the biggest...
So remember this name right here, John Doerr. Here's one of your puppet masters right along with Bill Gates and George Soros and all of them, this John Doerr guy here.
Democratic donors and has already given more than $800,000 to Biden and is now giving even more to Kamala Harris.
Oh, okay. So 832,000, to Biden, and now even more to the chameleon.
Harris. But these things aren't the reason why we're talking about it. He is in the spotlight today because he is the co-founder of a very influential lobbying organization called Forward.us. Now, this organization claims to be bipartisan, but it has the backing of liberal-leaning tech CEOs and investors like Mark Zuckerberg and, of course, John Doerr. And if you're wondering what this organization does, well, let's just check out their website and take a look at their goals. Under the immigration banner, they claim, fixing our harmful immigration system will make our country a safer, more prosperous place. We are committed to creating a fair, clear, and modern immigration system that unlocks opportunity for all Americans. That means protecting and improving existing legal immigration avenues, augmenting sensible border security and law enforcement, prioritizing real and serious public safety threats, and providing an earned pathway to citizenship for the 11 million undocumented people living in the U.S.
Hear that? Earned. Now listen here. Listen to this skin tag turd puppet devil right here, what he says. Listen to this.
Yes, you heard that right. They are one of those ultra-liberal organizations that are lobbying to give citizenship to all the illegal immigrants who are present in this country.
The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers, and all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
Hear that? Chuck Schumer, buddy. That's Nancy Pelosi's little crony there.
So basically, they want to give voting rights
listen to that again, what he says.
who are present in this country.
The only way we're going to have a great future in America is if we welcome and embrace immigrants, the dreamers.
Welcome and embrace them.
And all of them, because our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented.
Or however many undocumented, a path to citizenship. If you are anybody that is on board with that right there, you're un-American, and that's period. Just no. No, they done it the wrong way, and I don't care if they said we'll pay you to go or whatever. That, you know what, you just got bamboozled. That's tough. What you need to do is you need to put the blame on all of these puppet masters, like we're this Doerr guy here, John Doerr, and all of them, and this idiot, of course.
So basically, they want to give voting rights and Medicare to all the people Joe and Kamala have flown into this country during their tenure. But this isn't the only scary thing about this powerful organization. They already succeeded in passing the controversial 2017 Louisiana Criminal Reforms Bill, which shortened prison sentences, recalculated who was eligible for parole, weakened drug laws, and made it harder to send someone back to prison for violating parole or probation. And here's
Already passed it.
the president of Forward.us campaigning for this bill.
My name is Todd Schulte. I'm the president of
Yeah, look at this.
Forward.us, and we are a bipartisan advocacy organization working to fix our immigration system. About a year ago, Forward decided that in addition to our immigration work, we really saw opportunities for big policy changes in the criminal justice space. So Louisiana, a state that had been for a long time not just the highest incarcerating state in the country, but really one of the most incarcerating places on the entire planet. This was a real opportunity to come in and be able to really fundamentally.
Well, you know what? I'm all about not having so many people incarcerated. Why are they doing that? Well, you know, it's awful funny that now they're all about not having the incarcerations, isn't it? Now that all these invaders are here, like, oh no, let's not incarcerate them. Let's leave them out so they can do all the damage that we want them to do to the Americans. That's what they're doing. That's why that they're making sure that they don't just go to prison and stuff like that. Which the people that's there now, you know, they're in there over like traffic tickets or unpaid child support or something that's, you know, nobody got harmed in or something. You know, we're not talking about the majority of them or, you know, somebody that ended somebody or something like that. No, No, we're talking about stuff, and a lot of them are in there because they had stuff that now they've made legal. You know, Mary Chickenana or whatever, you know, what have you. But why now? Why now? Why now make all these laws and escape clauses and stuff like that? Why now not putting people in there? Because they want the few rodents that they've unleashed, you know, to do as much harm as possible. And I'm calling them rodents, the ones that are out that's actually unaliving the Americans that they've already harmed already. I mean, it's just, it makes sense after you start putting all this stuff together, but everybody's awake to it, and we know what's going on, but we got to keep going, and we got to keep finding out more and more information, and we are every day.
Transform the criminal justice system.
Now, I do not have to tell you how much chaos these reforms have caused, because only 7 years later, the lawmakers had to once again toughen up on crime and wash their hands of these reforms to save their communities. And looking at their actions, I don't think anyone in their right mind will call Forward.us a bipartisan organization. Their goals completely differ from the ones introduced by the GOP, and they resemble everything that most liberals have been campaigning for. And even though she's getting financial and soft support from someone who's running such an organization, Kamala Harris keeps on blaming Trump for what's happening at the border.
But Donald Trump believes a border deal would hurt his campaign. So he ordered his allies in Congress to kill the deal. Well, I refuse to play politics with our security, and here is my pledge to you. As President president, I will bring back the bipartisan border security bill that he killed, and I will sign it into law.
Her claims don't make any sense, but that's intentional. We've already seen how good Kamala is at deflecting the conversation and not giving a straight answer.
So I was raised as a middle-class kid. I grew up a middle-class kid. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. You know, we have ambitions and aspirations.
We have an opportunity
so
to
basically
pick
she's
between a career
echoing
politician
the
or a
same
business
thing
person.
over and over, but she doesn't answer any
The
questions.
ambition, the aspiration, the dream. I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. Having a background as a prosecutor, I intend to create an opportunity economy, developing and creating an opportunity economy. What I imagine and believe and call an opportunity economy.
And no matter how much she gloats about her career as the Attorney General, the simple truth is that these tech companies love Kamala because during her time as California Attorney General, Harris did little to stand in the
Al Gore right there. Al Gore right in the middle. Look at there.
way of Silicon Valley's massive centralization of wealth, preferring to work with companies rather than against them. According to Jamie Court, the president of Consumer Watchdog, it was deeply troubling that as Attorney General, she oversaw the growth of the biggest sector in America that dominates our privacy and our choices and didn't file a single case to take on that power. So basically, these giant corporations know that their money is safe with Kamala despite her posturing, and they're happy to support her because she's the safest bet for them. Moving on from the scummy politics of Silicon Valley, let's talk about the...
Yeah, listen to this world famous witch right here. Now, I want you to pay attention and listen to what she says about MAGA, which, remember, that's Make America Great Again, Americans.
The other female presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, who is talking about sending Trump supporters to prison for their views.
Boosting Trump back in 2016, but I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged.
And she says,
is something that would be a better deterrence because
yeah, that'd be a better deterrent if we just throw these Americans in prison for holding on to their rights and standing up for their rights and defending their rights and exercising their rights and using their rights.
Anyone who knows about Hillary Clinton would not be surprised by this unhinged opinion, but this is the same opinion that's used by pretty much every other Democrat. For it.
Yep, there you go. I'm going to turn on closed captioning so you can read. I think you're all right there. You should be all right.
Instance, listen to what New York Democrat Paula Collins has to say about the MAGA supporters.
Even if we were to have a resounding blue wave come through, as many of us would like, putting it all back together again after we've gone through this MAGA nightmare. And
MAGA nightmare. Make America Great Again nightmare.
re-educating, basically, which that sounds like a rather
re-educating.
Education camp. I don't think we really want to call it that. I'm sure we...
Re-education camp. I don't think we really want to call it that. I'm sure she says, it says.
If you find another way to...
I would love to know what she means by re-education camps, because that phrase has never been used for something good. And to top it all up...
That's absolutely right. Here, I'll let you hear that again.
And re-educating, basically, which... That sounds like a rather a re-education camp. I don't think we really want to call it that. I'm sure we can find another way to...
I would love to know what she means by re-education camps, because that phrase has never been used for something good. And to top it all off, Kamala straight up said that she wants to supervise Twitter because people can say whatever they want there.
He has
Yeah, this is really, really good. Listen to this, what she says here.
lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have...
So he's lost his privileges, she's saying. when he was on Twigger, when he was tweeting on the Twigger back.
One rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
That has to stop. There's no oversight, no regulation to stifle the free speech. That's in fact what these demons are saying. And I'm telling you, if you want to see invaders, right there is an invader. Old camel toe invader itself. Joe Biden is an invader. Because you can go back and listen to him. Everybody knows that he flip-flopped or whatever. Once upon a time, he said a union was between a man and a woman. And then all of a sudden, somebody bought his hind end, didn't they? Because then it was like, oh, well, let's raise this multicolored alphabet flag. And look here, here's their Chinese network. He's talking about, need a firewall. Meaning over in China, they have, it's censored in China. And it's the same thing as what they're wanting here and that they're doing.
Well, you might as well create a Chinese-style fire.
Hey, here's a little bit of interesting news that I just found out. And this is not a sideline. This is actually, in fact, a right directly in line with what's going on right here. Interesting fact. Russia is stifling YouTube. It's not completely banned over there, but it's got really big restrictions on YouTube over there. And I couldn't imagine why. And YouTube tries to say that it's all about free speech, so on and so forth. But if that's the case, why do you have to say stuff like unalive? Why can't you just use the regular English language? And you know what? If your ears are so sensitive that you cannot stand to hear something, don't watch that channel. Go to a different channel. Go to a channel where it says it's made for children. The adults are speaking. If you don't like the way it's, that's the same. That's exactly what I do. I mean, there's channels that you're shaking your head, yeah, no,
yes.
The same way. You just say don't recommend channel. It's that easy. It's that simple. But to those that are adults and paying attention to what's going on, and you and I out here we're the ones paying attention and fighting, and as a result, we are by de facto standing up for even the ones that's not even paying attention and the ones that walk right on by and pay it no mind whatsoever. They'll benefit from our stress and our worry and our gumption and grit and determination to make this country great again.
Wall at this point, because that's the only way to stop people from talking about your blunders. And speaking of blunders, White House spokesperson Karine Jean-Pierre dropped the ball big time when she called Trump a threat only 2 days after someone tried to assassinate him.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
And after a reporter objected, she defended her tasteless choice of words by saying this.
Dorsey,
somebody allegedly
Fox News,
tried to kill Donald Trump again. And you're here at the podium in the White House briefing room calling him a threat. How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
Peter, if anything from this administration, I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question, the question that you're asking. It is also incredibly dangerous in the way that you're asking it, because American people are watching. And to say that from a administration who has consistently condemned political violence, from an administration where the president called the former president and was thankful, grateful that he was okay, from an administration who has called out January 6th, called out the attack of Paul Pelosi, called out and said we need to lower the temperature after the Butler incident, and now for you to make that kind of comment.
Okay, here comes. If I was Peter, I would have went after and found out what kind of threat what she means by this threat coming.
In your question, because your question involved a comment and a statement. And, it is, that is also incredibly dangerous. When we have been very clear in condemning political violence from here.
See, that is also incredibly dangerous, she said.
What I have said about...
Why is that dangerous? Just asking a question, that the press should be asking.
The president, the former president, about January 6th is facts. It's you all have reported.
Well, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Anybody can have facts from anything. If they reported that there was people, at the rally, yep, that's a fact. There were people there. If the wind was blowing that day, yeah, I'd say that's a fact too. So you can say that, there was facts about any day that they want to say. But we're not talking about the facts. We're talking about all the lies and the rhetoric and stuff that they have presented to we the people. And now we know that they twisted that in such a way and everything. But listen to how she tries to measure January 6th up like it was some big deal. And you know what? Let's think about this. If you think about January 6th, all those people was doing is saying, this is our place. You're not going to keep we the people out of we the people's place. And that was we the people showing the frustration with the craziness that these loons, like right here that you're looking at, were doing to we the people. Back then, we still didn't understand exactly how far it was going to go. But it was deep enough that everybody was fed up with it. So when they went in there, they didn't throw Molotov cocktails and burn the place down or anything. They just got inside to show that it belongs to we the people. And then for anybody to make out like that it was some big, scary, dangerous thing, you ought to be looking at these people right here. I'm calling them people to be nice. But old John P.U. right here, these are the ones that you need to be looking at. Those are the criminals. Those are the ones that tore down our border and said, come on over here. And now look what we have right now. And you know what? Right now, if you're one of those that's saying, well, it's not really these invaders' fault, which I understand that. I even said that. And I believe that too. But still, they know that they don't belong here. They don't belong here. But these demons here brought them here, which makes them more criminals than ever before. Because to have somebody to come over here that's innocent and then have to be shipped back out of here, that is cruelty. That's cruelty. But it has to be done the right way, and because that's not fair to the ones that paid the thousands of dollars and went through all the paperwork and waited in line the right way to get here. So right there's your criminals. All these puppet masters that we're showing, those are the ones. Joe Biden and Chameleon there, those are just, like we keep saying, they're just puppets. They're just useful idiots is all they are.
It is fact.
That is fact.
When
That's
you
right.
have a former president who basically says that the election wasn't, the results of the election were not the results of the election.
Yeah, you know what? He's not the only one that said that. I said that, and I know that to be a fact, that has to be way up on the first of the agendas to do whenever we get Trump back in there.
When dozens of more than 60 Republican judges,
yeah, all corrupt, put in judges,
said that it was a free
bought and paid for.
More than 60 said it was indeed a free and fair election.
Yeah, well, how many judges do you trust? When's the last time that you seen a judge and you thought, wow, there's a just judge right there? Nope. Nope. Nope.
You had more than 2,000 people who were told to go to the Capitol. It was one of the darkest days of our democracy.
So here's another thing too. Have a little bit of responsibility here. Free, white, and 18 or whatever your color happens to be, it doesn't make any difference. If you're old enough to vote, and if somebody tells you, go jump in the boat and row out 100 yards and then jump off with a brick in your hand or something, if you do it, that's your bad. But that's what they would like to make out, and that's exactly what these yahoos are wanting. They're wanting brain absent bodies that they can blame and put it off on. So, if somebody done something, it's because they wanted to do it. Do not blame Trump or anybody else. It's like if somebody, gets you cranked up for your favorite team or something like that, it's because you wanted to root for that team also. So that's your responsibility. But there ain't nothing wrong with joining a side. Like right now, everybody knows the right side is with Trump. Because there is no way, we've already seen just in 4 years alone how they can literally not just destroy our country, but the world. I mean, you got Putin right now. I don't know, this is just today news also, where Russia is warning the West and everything. He's saying, hey, look, you guys are in with this Ukraine debauchery here or whatever, so I'd be careful, but that's just out today. So things are really, really intense right now. And when Trump's talking about, going to war, I think these demons right here are trying their best to get us involved with that before November so that they can stop this election or something. I'm telling you, they're going to try something pretty serious like that.
One of the darkest days. There were people law enforcement officers who died because of what happened at the Capitol. And
the law enforcement, that happened to them probably because they didn't understand that they should be on the side of the people or whatever. You know what? The ones that were walking around and actually escorting the people that was inside of the people's property there, I thought, man, that's cool. That's what they should do. Escort them through there, say, hey, here's this, here's that, or whatever. Because what's the Second Amendment for? Everybody wants to dance around that, and it's like, they let us have an open carry. They let us do it. No. They're not letting you do anything that's a God-given right. That's our right, people.
They were there because the former president told them to go there. I mean, I don't know if that's not a threat in our democracy when it was one of the darkest days of our democracy.
Oh, one of our darkest days. Let's not talk about, Pakistan, or any of that, 80-some, how many billions was that? 86 billion? And plus all the equipment, so on and so forth. And nobody talks about the individuals that had promises made to them that if they would help America, you know, like find certain buildings or do certain things over there, that they'd get to come over here to our country, you know, because they done something pretty incredible, you know, and helped us. They was all left behind, you know.
January 6th, one of the darkest days.
So basically, you can call him a threat and make him public enemy number one just because he had objections about the election result. I do not know what she was thinking when she came up with this explanation, but this is what Democrats have been doing. On one hand, they keep condemning these attacks, and on the other hand, they keep telling fanatics that Trump is the greatest threat to America. I really hope someone keeps calling them out on this because this hateful campaign...
Yeah, Peter Ducey there, that's what he's saying. I hope somebody keeps, you know, asking hard questions. I agree, you know, Peter Ducey there, I'm pretty sure he's with Fox, but, you know, I'm not a big fan of Fox, seeing how it's a corrupt media outlet or whatever. So, be right back. Okay, now here we are with JLR Investigates here, and he's in Springfield, Ohio, and he does a really good job. He's been at the border and all that stuff. He says he's not a political channel or whatever. He just, you know, kind of goes and investigates, and he doesn't care one way or the other. He just wants the truth, which is exactly what all of us want, you know. But he's up in Springfield, Ohio right now as we speak or whatever, because Vivek Ramaswamy, just this past evening, as in the 19th of September, went to Springfield and talked and spoke there, and there was like a big turnout that wanted to see him. A lot of people didn't even get in to the venue there. It wasn't big enough. But he was there, and he was there earlier in the day, and here's what he found going on just whenever he showed up.
What this controversy is all about. Is there a controversy or is there not a controversy? I'm about to show you a clip of a van. And I'll call it a suspicious van because the van is driving around with people inside without a license plate.
Haitians.
Picking people up throughout the streets of Springfield. So I'm going to show you this clip right here in Springfield, Ohio, and then we'll further discuss. Check it out.
Okay, now here's a stop sign. See, now look here. Now, they're on the right side of the road, right? Back it off a little bit. Yep, now watch what they do. Now, really pay attention to the road here. Now, just look. Okay, now they pulled across the intersection. Now, the van is not to the right. Look, it's still pulling off to the left here. It's like completely sideways. And look at the back of the van. There is no tag. Look, they're on the left side of the road now. Completely on the left. For no reason whatsoever.
There's people in there and there's no license plate. What is up with that? There's people in there. You see, it's full of people.
Okay, so no tag on it. And he like chases this van, or not chases it, but he follows the van, follows it and follows it and follows it, and it runs stop sign after stop sign, so on, so forth, and for the whole thing, and then it finally pulls over here, no tag on it whatsoever, and here you go, he gets up next to it. Now look here. Now watch how they act on the inside of this thing.
Hello, media.
Look, waves them off. Nope, don't want. Look at this guy in the back here. Nope, he ducks down. He don't want to be seen. All right, so no tag whatsoever on the van. If that was you or I, an American, how long do you think it would be until one of our government army thugs would write us a ticket to take our money from us? But not these people here, these invaders. They got magic cards. That's what they call them, magic cards, because they just keep loading money on them, they said.
And you can see there's houses.
All right, anyway, we'll be right back. right, so here we go. We're going to turn left. If you notice, you know, this van full of invaders. Who cares if it's Haitians or whatever? They're invaders. Look, the yellow line right there, okay? Just hit the yellow line. Now it's swerving back over to the right. Now, let's watch them here again. They're going to swerve over and go over the yellow line again right there. If that was a cop,
Springfield.
you and I, as an American, would have been nailed and given a...
What road is up? Here.
They would have given us a driving award and said, here you go, here's your driving award. Give us some of your money because we're already taking it anyway. All right, we'll be right back. All right, here we are. This is later on in the day, and this is where Vivek Ramaswamy is actually speaking there down in this building here, this venue that they have, which is too small to hold all the people. They turned away a bunch of people, and they couldn't get in, so a lot of them already left, and so on and so forth. This again, this JLR here that's doing this here. But he hangs around. He even tries to get in, and he told them that he's press and everything. And they said, nope, you're not the invited media. The invited media. That just absolutely blows my mind. I don't understand that. Nothing to hide, nothing to see here, right? That's who they should let in, is all the media, you know. But anyway, so he hangs out here, and then he goes around and he talks to some people, so on and so forth, because he's not allowed to go in because he wasn't invited. Anyway, we'll be right back. Let me cue this up. All right, so here we go. Check out this right here. Listen.
All right, the Democrats are seeding potential Democrat voters into Ohio cities. Same thing is going on in Findlay. Same thing is going on in Lima as to what's going here. It's a tactic, literally overwhelm communities that don't have the resources to resist this. The Democrats know this. It's all
overwhelm the resources.
Part of the agenda. And what they want, you look at their platform, they want the fairness doctrine. Oh, if you live here, you should be able to vote. They want to vote for all of them. And what's going to happen, mark my words, if this goes down, they'll get all of these new Democrat voters. A Republican will never get elected in Ohio again. And if you remember LBJ in 1965, what did he say? If we did the Civil Rights Act, those people, and we didn't delete it, will be voting Democrat for 200 years. And that's what this is all about.
Yep.
Thank you for your perspective.
Yep, absolutely.
And
yeah, you do too. I'm going to tell you something right now.
Yes, they are, but
he's 100% right.
I don't know.
That was another point that I remember you bringing up, that where they go to find a job.
Here, now listen to what this guy says right here.
And the job places them, and the company, I would assume it's like $2 to $3 pay difference from the real worker that works there without coming from the.
If you remember, it's been about 3 weeks ago, the federal government came in here in force, and they went after 7 or 8 large employers in Dayton, and out this way, went to people's homes and charged them with labor violations, wage and law violations. And what these people were doing is with this market that they're serving, they catch them out in the parking lot, they pay cash. Don't know if they're withholding taxes or anything else.
Right.
And essentially the charges are unfair wage and labor conditions.
I never heard of that. So
that was just 3 weeks ago.
The feds went in and swooped.
And you know who the big one was busted in? That was Fuyao. Do you know who Fuyao is? They're the world's largest auto glass manufacturer. They got a sweetheart deal through Ohio to take over the former General Motors.
Yeah, and remember who the governor of Ohio is. Oh, DeWine.
SUV assembly plant in Moraine. But a sweetheart deal for that, tax concessions and everything. And they were implicated, involved, and busted when the government went after all these employers. And not only that, if you look at what's going on in this town, I won't name names or anything, but I have reason to suspect from conversations like this with people, some of the leaders own income properties that they're renting out to these people.
Now
There's
listen.
a conflict of interest there.
The mayor?
I'm not saying that. You're not getting that out of me.
Gotcha. Continue.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. There's a conflict of interest.
So listen to what he's saying. He's saying that all of these government-paid wieners who lock themselves up in these buildings, who doesn't want no First Amendment auditors coming around or anything. That's why they want them doors closed and stuff, because they're up there making these sweetheart deals and stuff with these businesses. And they're coming in, and they know that they're going to be, they know this before we do, the common American, okay? They already know this stuff because they go and they're the first ones that find out, and they're the ones being offered these deals, if you want to call them quote unquote deals, because they're coming in and they're saying, hey, we've got a bunch of these invaders, and we could bring them and drop them off there if you was to have some way of housing them, and we would pay you to house them. So that's what they're, if you pay attention, this is the best guy right here, and I don't know if JLR even understands it or not, but this is the best guy that he interviewed the whole entire night. And this guy here is telling you that all of these corrupt people are making money because they're renting out their properties that they privately own, quote unquote, or wink wink. And then they rent them out, and they make all this money on the side, and they don't give two hoots about our freedom. They don't care about our country. They're just grabbing that dollar right now. That's sinking, by the way.
This is dirty at all levels.
So I'll rewind it just a little bit so you can hear this again. Listen to what he says.
They got a sweetheart deal through Ohio to take over the former General Motors SUV assembly plant in Moraine. Got a sweetheart deal for that, tax concessions and everything. And they were implicated, involved, and busted when the government went after all these employers. And not only that, if you look at what's going on in this town, I won't name names or anything, but I have reason to suspect from conversations like this with people, some of the leaders own income properties that they're renting out to these people. There's a conflict of interest there.
The mayor?
I'm not saying that. You're not getting that out of me.
Gotcha. Continue.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. There's a conflict of interest there. This is dirty at all levels.
It is dirty.
It starts with policy decisions in Washington, motivated by, if you look at the largest supporter of the Democrat Party is George Soros.
Amen.
And his plans for open society conform exactly to what's going on down here today, and are coming to the town. And as a citizen of this area, I have options. I can leave. But there are a lot of people around here that have been displaced out of their houses that don't have options, and these leaders are gaslighting these people. And
they're not leaders, they're morons.
Including some of the liberal church leaders around here telling them, don't you love people enough?
Including the church leaders. Man, he's nailing it 100%, man. I don't know this guy's name, but he is amazing.
Where is your love while they're getting thrown out of their houses? So, the whole thing from top to bottom has nothing to do with Haitians.
Yeah, so what he's saying is exactly what I've been telling you. The lower demon forms will always use what you have against you if they can. And I'm just in the mind that I don't care what they say anymore, because that's what they do. They try to get whatever is most precious to you and use that against you, even though they have absolutely no thought or care whatsoever about what is precious to you.
They're a part of this problem.
Right.
You know, it's a corrupt political system.
Amen.
Corrupt from the inside out and the outside in. And this has to stop because they are destroying this community, and ultimately they'll destroy the state and the government.
Amen. And you know what? I'm going to tell you that it just don't get any better than that right there. He nailed it 100% of exactly my feelings, my sentiments exactly. What do you think? No?
Yep.
Don't you think he nailed
Yes.
it? I couldn't have said it better myself. Absolutely amazing. Hey, listen, I just wanted to throw some of this here on there. One more thing right before I jump off of here. I got one more thing to show. I'm just going to show you Vivek Ramaswamy. Actually, but it is off of. I don't even watch them. No, I usually watch somebody else that tapes something off of Fox or something. I don't watch Fox. They are owned by what is that guy's name? Rupert Murdoch, I think it is. Is that who owns Fox? Anyway, a dirty individual, and they're sneaky. They will make you believe that they're all about the American and for Trump and everything, but if you research and look into isn't it Rupert Murdoch? Man, I might be wrong about that. Anyway, the guy that owns Fox, anyway, if you look him up and look into him, you'll see, buddy, he's just a dirty individual, just right along with the rest of them. So it's kind of like hiding right in front of your face there. But we'll be right back. All right, I'm going to actually let you watch the rest of this gentleman here because he goes on, and I really believe that the rest of what he says that you have to hear because he's spot on. And well, here you go. Just listen.
I absolutely believe that America is changing and bending over for the immigration. I mean, I understand their rights or their religion and whatnot, but they're forcing us to stop.
No, I don't understand their religion at
I
all.
grew up in Buffalo, New York, which after World War II in the 1950s and 1960s aggressively pursued European immigrants that had been in concentration camps. There were people come over and they found work. And why? The steel mills, the car plants, the railroad, chemical industry, everything was booming.
Yes,
they
it was.
could accommodate these people. We don't have those resources here.
No, not even close.
No. But what we do have is a political party sponsored by European globalists with an agenda that they're promoting. That's what the whole thing is going on here. And they got everybody fighting over it, eating cats and dogs, or, this is a housing problem, or we don't like those people. That's not it. That's not it. There's a much larger situation going on here. And if you don't think I know what I'm talking about, just go and read what the Open Society is all about and how they corrupt governments.
Yeah, I'm very familiar.
Yeah. Are you?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you for your time. A lot of people in the chat are saying you're spot on.
And you'll notice, even though I'm conservative and
See there, he's saying all the people in the chat and stuff is saying that this guy is spot on, and he is spot on.
I'm older, I didn't say anything about who to vote for or what my personal feelings are. All I did was give an assessment of the situation. Somebody opened the door to hell and let the devil out, and he happened to get here for now. But it's going to be wherever you live, because I think
Florida.
I've seen you.
Yeah, you live in Florida.
It's
I've seen it on YouTube.
I rest my case.
He's all over the place.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I came here from Florida to see and talk to residents.
I normally don't like auditors, but I couldn't resist because
Auditors?
Yeah.
Audit the auditors.
Yeah.
You ever see them?
Yeah. I'm in the total agreement with this gentleman, and I don't know you.
Yeah. No, I don't know
You live
you.
in this town?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, I do too. but not much longer. I think
You're leaving.
I love it here. I do too. But I'm 73 years old. I'm retired. You know,
I understand.
I want to live peacefully. I don't care who they are, what color, it doesn't matter. I just want to live without all of this drama. And wherever Democrats have a voice, there's drama, uncontrolled drama.
Yep.
Exactly what they want. Nice talking.
Thank you. You have a good day.
God bless you.
Thank you too. You too.
All right, so he says, God bless you. That's a perfect place right there to stop that right there. But I'm just going to show you real quick Vivek Ramaswamy or whatever. The audio kept messing up for whatever reason on them and so on and so forth. So we'll be right back. All right, I don't know if it was done purposely or not, but here's Vivek Ramaswamy. That this is inside the building of where JLR was outside trying to get into or what have you. So we're not going to play all this. I think the gentleman that we just watched, to me, I think he was the rock star of the whole thing for me on here. But the audio here, absolutely, I don't know if this was purposely done or whatever, but as you see, it'll mess up. But I'll play just a little bit here so you can see the opening of it.
We invited him, but that doesn't mean we have to trust him. And if you actually want to trust...
And he's talking about the media. We invited the media, but that doesn't mean we have to trust them.
The people of this country, the best way to do it is to speak directly to them without filters. I'll share with you what my perspectives are. Coming out of some of those meetings with members of the Haitian community, leaders from that community, city officials, here's my takeaway. There's about 70,000 people now in Springfield. And by the way, people ask me, why did you come to Springfield? One of the media networks, MSNBC last night, said, I'm descending on Springfield to do this event. So I guess it's a fair question. Why are you here in Springfield? I grew up an hour from here. I live less than an hour from here now. I actually spent a lot of time in Springfield growing up. Anybody been to Mike and Rosie's? Okay. I've had more subs there than probably most of you here. We used to play in Wittenberg every summer. I had a tennis program I would participate in. I've got aunts, uncles that have lived here, still live here. So this is close to home for me. And if an issue of national significance is happening in my backyard, no, I'm not going to turn my back. I want to actually see what we can do that's positive for this community. But one of the things I've learned, here's my view, is that I don't actually blame any of the 70,000 people in Springfield for the mess in Springfield. That includes the 50,000 people like my family members or others of you who have lived here for a long time or for generations. After meeting with a bunch of them today, I don't even blame the 12 to 20,000, most of them certainly, I don't blame most of them, the Haitian migrants.
No, how can you blame them? If somebody said, hey, I'm going to give you thousands of dollars, new car, and, you know, this, that, and who knows what the actual deal is. You know, they might have given their families that's still over in the other countries and stuff a bunch of money also.
Who were brought here by unconscionable means.
Yep.
I blame the federal policies that are responsible
That's
for
right.
what's going on in this city.
See, everybody feels that way. That's right.
And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about it in an unfiltered way. People are angry. Let's acknowledge that. You're not going to deny, you're not going to fix that problem by saying, don't be angry. That doesn't work.
Okay, so anyway, if you want to watch that, you know, you can go find that and watch the whole thing. But I just seen some stuff that I just really wanted to bring y'all's attention and that really struck a chord with me and stuff. So anyway, listen, appreciate you hanging in there. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't already, please do so if you want to. Listen, God bless America. God bless you and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks for praying for us. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. And don't forget 202-224-3121. Call your representative and make a difference, because we've got 48 more days till November 5th, and we've got to stay on top of this. I don't think we've seen the worst of the attempts at Trump yet, and they're going to do everything that they can, and I really believe there's something big still left that they will try to do. So they're not going to quit. They've got too many billionaires and too much money, and they're backing a lame duck with Camellia there. I mean, you can look at her. Would anybody really want to have her as a waitress, let alone the President of the United States of America? Peace out.